It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. His light will burn bright, and we will continue to honor Lorenzo Daris every day that we can, because that is our responsibility to pay him back for what he gave us. We miss him terribly. It has left a massive void in our space, but most importantly, his family right now need all the love and care that we can muster. So please, if you are connected to his ecosystem, please let that love shine today. Well, we're going to let our love language shine today because we love seeing young talent making their mark. It's that moment of becoming that I love so much. And today we are joined by a rising Afrikaans band, GSTRiNG. Yes, okay, it's just the best name in the world. Three friends who turned a fun idea into now chart-topping success. And when you hear the music, you will understand why. Hits like Verloor, Yourself, #1 albums, Sonvlug, Pretoria. I don't even know if I must say it with more of a deeper accent, Pretoria, because it does embody. Their music is incredible, and they've just gotten started. They are quickly making the mark. So let's give them a massive, massive welcome and have a little sneak peek at some of their talent. Take a look at this.
Sonder jou gevind, klere soos die wind, oordraak oor jou gesig, dis dit jy, dis dit jy.
Take me back to the 90s, baby. I know there is a lot of nostalgia at the moment, but now we are looking forward. So let's give a very feel-good welcome to Nielsie, the lead singer and songwriter, Wilhelm, the bassist and band manager. That's quite a tough job. And Storm as the lead guitarist. Gentlemen, welcome to it. I wish we had a live studio audience. So when you're not on the couch, you are the live studio audience this morning, and we'll be that for you. Welcome, guys.
Morning, Greg. Thanks so much for being here.
Where do we start? We kind of have to start with the name. Who wants to take that one on the chin? Yeah, where did this originate? Wilhelm, explain yourself.
So, long story short, we're not going to take it too long for this. But myself and Nielsie played a family show when we were a bit younger on high school, and the G-string on the guitar snapped. That turned into a few bottles of wine later, and the name stuck from that on. We discussed the change of the name, but it's too good to change, so we kept G-string.
It's awesome,
and the subjectivity on the name also on Afrikaans music, and the more conservative Afrikaans doesn't match, but I think the music speaks for itself.
I think it works perfectly because it creates a little bit of a kind of sidestep whereby when you actually hear it sounds like the classical grounding in your music. There are layers to the music that you guys are putting out there. You might look like a garage band from the 90s, but there are clearly some musical chops coming together. Talk me through the musical influences coming together. How would you, and I'll go down the line here, how would you describe what you bring to the party? What is your vibe in music?
So we like to call it Afrikaans indie, which is comes from the word independent music. That's just, we are not signed to a big label who influences our music. We decide what music we make. So our influences come mainly from, I'd say, Afrikaans heroes like Spoegvol and die was fantasties. Then also some other local heroes, Beatenberg, Jeremy Loops. All of those combined, then you get a G-string.
And these guys independently are knocking down global doors to find success. I've got an aunt in the UK who constantly makes me bring him Jeremy CDs and things. I love that. I love the fact. What did you come to the table with? What is your journey through music to get to this point? Because you guys sound so eclectic. What influenced you to get to the sound?
So I think there wasn't a sound like this in Afrikaans yet. We listened to Afrikaans music and said, listen, there's nothing specifically that we like, or the type of genre music we like in Afrikaans. And we decided, let's make music that we like. Influences like Milky Chance, Rainbow Kids and Surprise that we have in the UK, in the Netherlands, in Australia, whatever the music comes from there. We didn't have that in Afrikaans, and we decided, let's make Afrikaans music that we like.
And with you guys carving these paths, you take there are so many bands coming to South Africa now to find that indie fame, to get those 300 fans that will rock up at every single place. I love that. So you've got that side of the equation sorted. It's still big money business. So you've got to have hits that land and go to #1. Verloor Yourself. When a song and a body of work starts doing as well as it does, how does that feel? because you are so young, so I would imagine this is not you haven't experienced this a huge amount, but when it hits the radio airwave, starts to climb, when you start to get that right, how does that feel, bro?
I think it's really incredible. And my favorite part of it as well is if you travel the country and you show up to a gig and then you're playing a song which you wrote and the crowd is singing your lyrics back to you. And I feel like that's just an incredible privilege to have that connection wherever you go in the country and to have a loyal fan base all around. And it's quite surreal. I haven't actually wrapped my mind around it yet. You know, it's moving quite quickly. So I'd say, yeah, that's definitely one of the highlights of being able to be a musician.
And it's a kind of validation that no one, because the people close to you are going to validate and they're going to drive you for it, but there's something about that test that just stands up. There is, added to that, number one on the Apple Music charts, Sonvlug, Pretoria, unbelievable success. Has that helped you level up? Do you feel like now you're playing in a different commercial space? Because now you can't just be a 300 fans in a bar somewhere. You've got to step up.
I wouldn't say so, honestly. Like, I think you obviously try and stay humble, and I think it's easy to stay humble. As I mean, we are only students. We are so privileged, like, to be doing this. We are so lucky to that people like the same music as we do. So it's not like there's no recipe you can follow to like. Well, I mean, there probably is a recipe somewhere, and some people figured it out, but we're only doing what we like. So
I like what you're cooking, boys. I like what you're cooking a lot here. I think people are going to be blown away at how mature the sound is coming from 3 students. Clearly, there is some musical gravitas behind what you're doing, and that's the mark of all the greats. But I love the fact now that we are messing with people in the Afrikaans music lane. Can we start talking about individual genres within Afrikaans music now, as opposed to just English and Afrikaans music? It would be a great starting point. But you are going to see something special this morning. The G-string band is here. Unfortunately, no G-strings.